All right, testing 1, 2, 3. We on the air, Looney Bird?
Yeah, we are, Billy Bob.
All right, then give me the news sound effects.
Beep, 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 beep. Here's the news.
All right, thanks, Looney Bird. All right, folks, well, welcome back to Billy Bob and Looney Bird Do the News. And we do this every Saturday. We like to keep our listeners up to date on what's going on in the world. And this is our second newscast, and we've been collecting some articles over the week, things that you might be interested in knowing that's going on here. Of course, everybody knows we had a good Thanksgiving. I hope everybody out there had a good Thanksgiving. How about you, Looney Bird?
Oh, yeah, I just love eating turkey, Billy Bob. That's what birds do on Thanksgiving. Right, sure.
Hey, there's no reason, Looney Bird, for you to be a little patonkety about the fact that we eat birds on Thanksgiving.
What's patonkety mean, Rolf?
Yeah, Rolf, what's patonkety mean?
Hey, don't tease me when I make up words.
All right, well, y'all probably realize here by now that Looney Bird is here, and so is Rolf and Earl. So Rolf and Earl are going to be joining us here today in case they have anything important to add to the news.
Yeah, I'm just here to help your ratings, Billy Bob.
Yeah, right, Rolf, like you being here will help the ratings.
Okay, well, I also collected a few good news stories.
Well, good, we can't wait.
Yeah, we can't wait.
All right, well, you guys settle this out in the aisles, okay? Because first we're going to start with a story about Thanksgiving. I think we'll go over here to the story. Do you know that turkeys are not very smart? They say that the turkeys that are raised in captivity so that we can eat them on Thanksgiving are among the dumbest dumbest birds in the world.
I know they're dumb. They're real dumb.
Okay, well, you want to read the story to us, Looney Bird?
Sure. In its journey from farm egg to roasting pan, America's favorite feast food endures the reputation that it's dumb, even by bird brain standards. That's foul luck for a turkey that in its domestic form can't fly, can barely walk, and is too fat to have sex, ever.
Looney Bird, we don't talk about that subject here on Billy Bob's News.
It's in the newspaper, Billy Bob.
Okay.
These animals, officially called large white turkeys, are engineered for Americans' taste for white breast meat. Should not be confused with their wild brothers.
Ooh, they're wild brothers. You mean the wild turkeys?
Yeah, the wild turkeys is one of the smartest birds in the universe. Next to, of course, loony birds.
Well, okay, that's interesting to know. So the ones they breed for Thanksgiving are stupid, and we shouldn't really worry too much about them.
Yeah, that's right. Just eat them and enjoy them.
Yeah, okay, well, that sounds good, Looney Bird. Thanks for that story about the stupid turkeys. What's the next big story we got?
Well, let's see, we got one here I think that's important. It's about stray kittens.
Oh, I love kitty cats.
Yeah, we love kitty cats.
Rolf, I didn't know you were a kitty cat lover.
I am. I love kitties. I have lots of kitties. In fact, I lost a kitty just last week.
Well, let me read you the story and tell you what happened. 4 people are being treated for possible rabies after they were scratched and bitten by a 10-week-old stray kitten.
Hey, that's my kitten.
It says here that a Longwood hairdresser found the gray and white kitten last week alongside the road and took it to her office in Lake Mary, where it scratched one of her clients.
Boy, I'll bet she's getting sued now.
Ralph, would you shut up and listen to the news? A third woman took the cat to her Winter Springs home, where it attacked her boyfriend and her son.
Man, that is one bad kitty.
This is the first domestic animal to test positive for rabies since the beginning of a rabies alert during the summer, Harris said. Well, Billy Bob is going to read this next part to you because it's a public service. People need to know that they can't pick up any animal on the street and assume it's safe, not even if it's a cute little 10-week-old kitty.
Man, what is this world coming to?
What'd they do with the kitty, Billy Bob?
The kitten was euthanized, I'm sorry to say. Well, there's nothing else they can do with a rabid kitty but euthanize it.
Man, this story is really bringing me down.
Yeah, Billy Bob. What kind of newscast is this, talking about rabid kitties that have to be euthanized? Well, yeah, we have kind of gotten off to a bad start here. Let's move on to something important here. This is probably should have been our top story. It says here that Nick and Jessica have called it quits.
No!
Yes.
No!
Yes! The star couple have ended rampant rumors, and it says after 3 years of marriage and months of speculation, newlyweds Nick Lachey and Jessica Simpson are breaking up.
All right. Now Jessica is mine, all mine.
Right, Rolf, like you got a shot.
Hey! this is one great news story, Billy Bob. I mean, I thought that they were going to be together forever.
Yeah, I know. Like if Jessica and Nick can't stay together, what chance is there for the rest of us?
Well, if you're stuck on somebody's arm like someone I know over here...
Well, I'm going to get off of this arm one of these days. If Nick and Jessica can break up, I can break up with you. Well, here, let me just read you the story. It says, this is a mutual decision. This is what they said. This is a mutual decision of two people with an enormous amount of respect and admiration for each other.
Yeah, right.
We hope that you respect our privacy during this difficult time.
Yeah, right.
So I guess if we're going to respect their privacy, we shouldn't really do this news story.
Yeah, let's respect their privacy and not finish this story. I don't really dig stories about breaking up. Breaking up is hard to do.
Okay, well, let's do a story about getting together. Apparently, Elton John is getting married.
Yay! I've been waiting for this.
And apparently, Elton John is marrying his best friend and partner, David Furnish.
What?
What?
Yeah, that's right. It says here that it says there will be lots of confetti and rice on December 21st as they're going to have all these ceremonies in England for people who happen to be of the same sex who are getting married, and Elton John is one of them.
Well, that's quite a news story there, Billy Bob. I mean, I didn't even know they were going steady.
Yeah, well, apparently there's a lot of things going on in the world that you don't know about, Looney Bird, and one of them is Elton John's marrying David whatchamajigger. So, anyway, I hope you guys don't get too worried about that, or all you girls out there can stop worrying about whether or not you can catch Elton John on the rebound, because he's definitely in love. This is not one of them Jessica Simpson and Nick Lachey deals. This one's going to go all the way, I think.
You didn't need to say that, Billy Bob.
Okay, well, I'm sorry about that. Hey, here's a story about cats.
Hey, not another rabid cat story, is it, Billy Bob?
No. But it is a little bit sad. I mean, sometimes the news is full of sad stuff. Is that okay?
Well, we are doing the news.
Okay, well, it says here an animal rescuer in Painesville, Ohio, who abandoned 35 kittens in 2 parks has been sentenced to a night in the woods without food or shelter. She was an animal rescuer, and she let the kitties go.
Well, what kind of an animal rescuer is she?
Well, probably mixed up one here. It says here that Michael Kisonetti, or something, known for handing out unusual punishments. Oh, excuse me, he must be the judge. He sentenced Michelle Murray. So it's Michael and Michelle here in this story. Michelle is the girl who let the kitties go, and Michael is the judge. He sentenced Michelle to spend the cold night alone when she begins her 15-day jail sentence next week. Murray, 25, pleaded guilty last month to abandoning domestic animals, a second-degree misdemeanor. The kittens were recovered, glad to say.
I'm so happy to hear that.
But many had upper respiratory infections, and 9 of them died. Bless their little hearts. Murray must report to jail on Wednesday, and a park ranger will drop her off at a remote location.
Hey, I'm not sure that you can do that. Can you just take a person and drop them off in the woods overnight?
Yeah, sounds like something you could do to an animal, but would you do that to a person? Well, apparently this judge here is known for his unusual punishments, and he did it. Well, we gotta get back on that story. We gotta find out what happened to Michelle and see how she lived out in the woods there for the whole night all by herself. Yeah, okay. Hey, listen to this. This one here killed me. Rapper, so to speak. Rapper Snoop Doggy Dogg urged Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger on Saturday to grant clemency to a convicted murderer and Crips co-founder Stanley Tookie Williams so he can continue his work with young people.
Yeah, that's what we need. We need a convicted murderer to continue his work with young people. That's a good reason to let him out of jail, isn't it, Billy Bob?
Yeah, are you just being sarcastic, Looney Bird?
Well, if you can tell.
Well, here, let me read you the story. It says, this guy, Snoop Doggy Dogg, who everyone knows is kind of weird himself, but he says that Stanley Tookie Williams is not just a regular old guy. He's an inspirator. And he says he's an inspirator and a former Crips member. He told a crowd of about 1,000 people outside of San Quentin State Prison that he's set to be executed on December 13th. So that means in another week or two, this guy's going to be executed. But Snoop Doggy Dogg wants him to be let loose so he can continue his work with young people. He was convicted in 1979 of murdering 4 people during 2 robberies in Los Angeles, and he's exhausted his appeals, and he asked Schwarzenegger for clemency. So, what do you guys think out there? Should we have a poll? Should we let this guy go so he can continue his work with young people? Y'all write in, especially you moms out there who have kids who may have to listen to this guy.
Yeah, I really think that's a crazy news story, Billy Bob.
Well, you think that's crazy? Listen to this. Kevorkian, y'all remember who Kurt Kevorkian is, don't you? Is that his name, Kurt Kevorkian? No, that's the guy that bought General Motors. Kevorkian is the guy who used to help people do assisted suicides. He built a suicide machine, and then people would want to die, and then they'd go to him, and then I guess they paid him money, and then he cooked them up to his machine, and next thing you know, they were like 86th. So anyway, this Kevorkian guy is now in jail because apparently it's not legal to do that, and his lawyer is seeking a pardon. It says Jack Kevorkian's, it's Jack, not Kurt. Jack Kevorkian's attorney is asking Michigan Governor and Parole Board for a 3rd time to pardon the 77-year-old assisted suicide advocate or commute his sentence. And he says that you might as well do it because he's not going to live that long. So anyway, Kevorkian is suffering from a number of ailments, including high blood pressure, arthritis, cataracts, osteoporosis, hepatitis C, and I think he's got a bad case of the heebie-jeebies.
Well, I don't know if we should let Kevorkian out. Maybe we should let Kevorkian and this other guy, Snoop Doggy Dogg's friend, stay together.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for the suggestion there, Looney Bird.
Hey, may I say something?
Sure, Rolf, go ahead.
Well, I heard a story about Massachusetts, and I have friends in Massachusetts, and I just thought I'd tell the story.
Okay, well, go ahead, Rolf.
Well, it was in Boston, and I'll read it to you. It says, there will be no last-minute shopping for turkeys or trimmings on Thanksgiving Day in Massachusetts. Now, this story came out last week, before Thanksgiving, and it said the state had warned the upscale Whole Foods supermarket chain that it will risk criminal charges under the state's century-old blue laws if it goes ahead with plans to open on the holiday. Now, we don't know, because we haven't heard yet from our correspondent in Boston, as to whether or not the law came down on Whole Foods or not.
Yeah, I wonder what happened there. Does anybody out there know what happened out there?
Yeah, somebody call us up and tell us. Did anybody go to jail for being open on Thanksgiving Day? Rolf wants to know.
Yeah, and so do all the rest of our listeners. So if anybody knows whether anybody had to go to jail on Thanksgiving out there in Massachusetts, be sure and give us a call. We'd like to know.
All right, what's going on now, Billy Bob?
Well, we got a couple other stories. Here's a story about a guy who's creating energy from waves. This is down in Florida, Satellite Beach, where they blast off all the rockets to the moons and stuff. Well, he's figured out he's got a device that his daddy started building when he was a kid, and now he's building it. And it goes out in the ocean and it creates electricity.
Wow, that would be great.
Yeah, that would be good because we do have some problems with our power bills and stuff, and this guy here might solve it for us. We'll keep you up to date on that.
Yeah. Hey, do you have any more funny stories about important people doing terribly stupid things?
Yeah, I got one right here. I'm glad you asked, Looney Bird. Apparently there's a Seminole judge who did something pretty stupid. Let's see if I can find you the story here. It says in Sanford, that's in Florida, out near where Billy Bob lives. The Seminole County judge charged with jailing 11 people because they went to the wrong courtroom had secretly been admonished before by a member of the state panel that disciplines judges. Let's see, what's his name? It's Judge John Sloop. Judge John Sloop here is the guy. Yeah, apparently he did some pretty stupid things. Let's see where it says here. He found... he's blaming his problems on attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD. And he says that's the reason he did all these stupid things. Let's see, somewhere in here it tells what he did.
Yeah, where is it, Billy Bob? You should have this stuff, highlighted.
Oh, I do have it highlighted. Here it is. It says, in his statement, Sloop apologized time and again for what they went through, these people, that he handcuffed, locked in chains, strip searched, and placed in a holding cell. He said he signed release orders about 3 hours after their arrest, something he thought would set them free right away, but they were locked up for 8 whole hours.
8 hours in jail, strip searched,
Yeah, 8 hours, Looney Bird. I don't think they strip searched him for 8 hours. I think they just had him in jail for 8 hours.
Yeah, okay, well, it's just as bad.
He said this ADHD so clouded his judgment that he ignored warnings from 3 people, 2 of them judges, who told him that he shouldn't arrest these people because they were just mixed up and went to the wrong courtroom. And then he went on lunch break and ate popcorn and left the building to get parts for a trailer while they sat in jail.
Man, this guy, and he's blaming his judgment problems on ADHD.
Yeah, well, I'd say if a judge has judgment problems, he shouldn't be a judge. What do you think, Looney Bird?
Well, you know, I mean, that would make sense to me, but I guess we're going to have to see what the people have to say about it.
He says, my life has changed and my perspectives have changed, and now I'm a good guy, and it'll never happen again. I promise, I promise.
Well, that's not good enough for me. I certainly wouldn't want to be in his courtroom.
Well, all right, well, we'll watch that news a little bit. He says he's going to get psychological counseling, and he's going to retire in 5 years, and he's asking not to be punished for this little episode where he wrongfully jailed and strip searched everybody.
Hey, you know, Billy Bob, I personally enjoy being strip searched.
Rolf, can it?
Okay.
Okay.
Now, where are we? I think we're almost to the end of... You know, we had one story we told you about last week about the Xbox coming out. And in the last week, the Xbox finally came out. And apparently, there's a lot of people who like that game. It's made by Microsoft, and maybe some of you guys out there like it and want it for Christmas. But apparently the stores have sold out. I mean, they just sold out as soon as it came on the market here. And gamers were waiting all night long to get it. But I read another story that said you don't really have to worry about getting it right now because a lot of games don't really work good on it yet. There's like only 1 or 2 really good games on it. And the price is going to come down. And if you can just hold on to your shorts, just wait a little while. You'll get it at a lower price and you'll get better games. So don't worry about the Xbox 360 yet.
Do you have any other stories that will titillate our souls, Billy Bob?
Well, here's one right here, but I don't know if I should read this one. Here, look at this headline, Rolf.
Oh, my God. Let me read it, Billy Bob. Let me read that story.
Well, okay.
Okay. The title of the story is, and I'm reading this straight from the newspaper, so you people out there who don't like newspaper stories can just soak your head in a bucket of water.
Rolf, it's okay. Just read the story.
Okay. It's Dateline, Fort Myers Beach. Man shocked in genitals.
Rolf!
A naked man was accidentally shocked in the genitals by a taser after he was found breaking windows and asking women to touch him inappropriately.
Rolf!
Jeremy J. Milmore, 26 of Bonita Springs, tried to run when approached by Lee County Deputy Sheriff Saturday. When he ignored requests to stop, Deputy Daniel Hollywood shot Major with a taser. One of the taser prongs accidentally hit Major's genitals and got stuck. Officers are taught to aim for the torso, but it was difficult to aim because Major was moving. The taser was relatively accurate, but when someone is moving like that, it doesn't matter if you have a taser or a pistol, they're going to get shot in the genitals. Major was taken to Lee Memorial Health Park Medical Center, where he was treated before taken to Lee County Jail. He's charged with indecent exposure, resisting an officer, and criminal damage.
Rolf! All right, well, thanks for that story, Rolf.
Yeah, thanks for the story, Rolf. I guess there's a moral in there somewhere. And when we figure out what it is, we'll let you know. But meanwhile, we just suggest people hold on to their shorts, just like we said earlier. So this is Billy Bob and Looney Bird. We're happy to have done the news for you. Let's see, it's you know what, we do have a couple other things here I'd like to mention. Just a couple of quick things. Light poles are vanishing in Baltimore. They're just disappearing right and left. So if anybody's seen any missing light poles, let us know. And let's see, that's just about it. We got anything else here? There's a couple other stories, but they're right along the same lines as that one Rolf just gave. And Billy Bob is trying to keep this thing happy and pleasant.
Yeah, happy and pleasant, like rabies kitties and getting shot in the genitals and...
Well, wait a minute. How about a lighter side? Here, there's a lighter side story here. Home Depot erases claim of pilfered store pencil.
Yeah, Home Depot. Isn't that the same company where a guy got stuck on a toilet seat last month?
Hey, we just heard that secondhand, Looney Bird. We don't know if that story's true or not.
Well, I know it's true because I heard it from a reliable source. There was some kind of super glue on a toilet seat, and this guy sat down and got stuck.
Looney Bird, you're making that up.
I am not making it up. I heard it from a reliable source.
Okay, well, that's not our story today. Our story today is about a carpenter who was banned from Home Depot after he used a pencil and left the store with it. In Massachusetts, another one of them Massachusetts stories, Home Depot apologized to a carpenter banned by the chain worldwide after he absent-mindedly pocketed a pencil he had used to do some quick math. Michael Penarelli, 51, of Lawrence, was accused of shoplifting from the Methusden store Thursday. Penarelli was with a client and had just bought some lumber when the client picked up the pencil next to a cash register for Penarelli to use. Penarelli pocketed the pencil and was met in the parking lot by a worker who asked for his identification. The worker presented Penarelli with one letter saying he was banned from Home Depot and another advising that he would be hearing from the company's lawyers.
Wow, they're really coming down on this guy.
Yeah, and Penarelli took his story to the Eagle Tribune newspaper in Lawrence, which published it during the weekend. And on Sunday, Alta Atlanta-based Home Depot issued a written apology saying the incident was prompted by a narrow interpretation of its shoplifting prevention rules. We will not be pursuing any claims against Mr. Panarelli for this incident, the statement said. We welcome Mr. Panarelli back as a customer in our stores at any time. And then he said he had no intention of going back and doing any business there any further. He says, why should I put money in someone's pocket when they treat me like this? Well, I think there's another moral to that story, Looney Bird.
And what would that be, Billy Bob?
Well, just don't pilfer pencils when you're in Home Depot because, buddy, they will come down on you and they will book you.
They will book you.
Yeah.
Well, Billy Bob, I've had a good time being with you here today on the Billy Bob and Looney Bird and Rolf the Wolf newscast.
Ralph, it's just the Billy Bob and Looney Bird newscast. You're just a guest.
Well, okay, well, you'd consider having me as a permanent guest. I would sure appreciate it.
Ralph, who would want you as a permanent guest? That would be kind of like having a permanent case of rabies.
Hey, that's uncalled for, Earl. Just totally uncalled for.
All right, you guys settle this after the newscast. Looney Bird, give us our little news music to get out of here.
All right. Beep, 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 beep. That's all, folks.